Hi everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today's topic is the reason why they pushed the black female leadership within the black community. And I hope I can get my thoughts out. It's just my opinion, just something that I have noticed. And I have mentioned it in previous videos, but I'm going to devote this video solely to why I think black female leadership is pushed within the black community. Let me start off, let me get ahead of myself. We as women are vulnerable. We have children. We were not meant to raise children by ourselves. But you have the powers that be, whoever they are, who push the narrative to black women that we don't need husbands, the nuclear family is archaic, they embrace the single motherhood narrative, they push the alphabet community narrative. And one thing that I see a lot online, on Facebook, a couple of forums that I belong to, it's always allegedly black women, because people can say whoever they want behind a fake photo. And the reason I say that is because their posts every day is always divisive about black men, marriage. You know, if you're pro-marriage, you're a pick-me, you're basic, you know, marriage is not needed. This is why black women are often put into leadership roles by the powers that be. And you can read between the lines of who you think I might be talking about. But other cultures, let's just say in general, other cultures tend to be more strategic and they have foresight about their futures. Our community, be it male or female, but definitely female, which is why they keep forcing the black woman as the leaders in these TV shows and movies. You know, the black woman is strong, independent, don't need a man. She's got her career. The black men in her orbit are either of the alphabet community, or if it's a heterosexual black male, he's no good. He's running game on her. He's got multiple women. You know, he's abusive. So the point I was trying to get at, the powers that be know that by putting black women in these leadership roles, I lost my train of thought, but into these leadership roles, they know that they're not going to get the nuclear family pushed. They know that black women are going to support the alphabet community agenda. They know that black women are going to support the single mother rate. And not to mention, they know that black women are going to push and champion for deletion of babies. All of these things are destructive to the black community, particularly the black family. And I'll use Your Honors, the TV show, as an example. And there's many more out there, but that's the one that I can only think of right now. There was this one character, spoiler alert, and I haven't watched the show maybe in about a year or so. And she was like the owner of this bar or something. And, you know, she ended up she was a lesbian, but she was in this boss chick, masculine role. And the black men in her orbit were beta males. And I'm going to tell you, the powers that be, however you want to think of who I'm talking about, they are scared to death of a strong, masculine black man in his purpose. They don't like it at all. Because a black man in his purpose, excuse me, y'all, he's going to start having standards that includes, oh no, we're not going to do this in my community. We're going to start getting married. We're going to start building up our communities. We're going to start fending for ourselves. But there's a particular group of people, Democrats, liberals, the powers that be, they don't want Black people to think that there is life outside of victimology. And by putting Black women in leadership roles, that's what we're always going to fall back on. You know, we're victims. We can't move forward because the white man is always keeping us down. And we can't move forward because, you know, this, that, and the other. And another thing about our community is we're typically not held accountable for wrongdoings. If, you know, I won't go too deep into that, but typically we're not held accountable. Let's be honest. And so that's another reason why they like to push the strong, independent Black woman while keeping the, you know, Black men are useless. They're not strong. And also, I might catch some heat for this, but a lot of Black men are son husbands. They're son husbands. And the mere fact that 78% of Black men voted for Harris tells me that they are still attached to their mother's apron strings or whatever woman that's in his life. When you looked at the D.L. Hugleys, the Ricky Smileys, the Steve Harveys, Jamal Bryant's, what are those men getting out of pushing that party to the Black community? One thing is deletion of babies. Another thing is no nuclear family. Not near one of those men, from what I can tell, pushes for the nuclear family. Women in leadership roles, they're not doing it. That's why they push for the Black woman to be in leadership roles. In the movies, there's this new movie that's going to be coming out. It's called We Chose Violence. And I tried to look to see who wrote it. 3 bald-headed Black women who are going up against white supremacy. And so when I was reading the comments from Black women, "Ooh, I can't wait to see this, blah, 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 blah." And what boggles my mind is the fact that so many Black women get online. You don't have to take my word for it. Just visit some of the forums around the internet. So many Black women are talking about how we're the least protected, the Black men ain't protecting us, and blah, blah, blah. But then when these types of movies, Wakanda Forever, they replaced, I know Chadwick Boseman lost his life to cancer. That's so unfortunate. But instead of replacing him with another strong Black male character, they made it a female character. And not only that, if you looked at the movie, spoiler, and I did a reaction to that, the women were in these strong, independent roles, while the men in the orbit were, to me, they were kind of weak and beta male-ish. And that's another reason why I refuse to watch that trash, The Woman King. And you got this new movie, and I love Viola Davis, but you got this new movie. You got this new movie with Viola Davis called G20. And she's like this lone wolf, kick-ass type of a woman. And I notice that that's a narrative that they push onto the Black community. Black women eat it up. And Black women are the main ones who are least likely to get married, most likely to be a single mother, and yet they champion for images that takes them away from the nuclear family. Do you know what the nuclear family brings to us as women? Protection, provision, stability, financial stability, a lot of things. But Black women fight against it. Black women tend to get off so much on being strong, independent. I'm sounding like a broken record. And not needing a man, only to realize later, oh snap, I need somebody to come in and help me with these 3 kids by 3 different men. And it's not a good deal for a lot of men, because a lot of men are ultimately finding that he's not her main choice. She only wants him for resources. And while he is providing, I'm going off on a tangent, she is probably still dipping and dabbling with the baby daddy or baby daddies, or another man who she can, go get some D-love from, while the stepman, the stepfather stepped up and paying all the bills. I'm hoping more men open their eyes, but that's another topic. But that was my topic for today. I have been wanting to discuss that. I do strongly believe that there are subliminal messages that are being purposely pushed to the Black community. Just pay attention to what you see in the media for us versus white people, for example. And yeah, they should, promote, the nuclear family for themselves or whatever. But for us, my thing is, they should not be writing our stories. But here's the scary thing. The Black people who do write our stories, they're doing the destructive stuff for our communities too, which is why they can be in Hollywood. If you're a conservative, if you are pro-marriage, pro-Black community, to the point of husband, wife, children, that's not going to be pushed as quick as the alphabet agenda and the strong single mother. And let me tack this on real quick. Going a little bit off tangent. Beyond the Gates. It's a new, mostly Black soap opera. But one thing that struck me, there's this gay couple, Black guy, white guy with a white husband. They have 2 children. One thing that I noticed is that man, and this is something that I typically do not see in movies or TV shows when it comes to Black men, which is why I know that there's an agenda afoot. That Black man, he's this upstanding. I'm not saying that gay men can't be upstanding. That's not my point. My point is agendas being pushed to our community. The powers that be know that 2 men cannot procreate and 2 women cannot procreate. And they typically push these narratives to Black people in the movies and TV shows, which is why I'm saying they want Black women in leadership roles, because they know Black women will look at that like, gay people exist. They have a right to exist, and this, that, and the other. Of course they do. Nobody is saying that. But there should be more nuclear family scenarios being pushed, as opposed to the gay agenda. So what I was saying about that one couple, he's talking like a husband in a leadership role, and my family and this and that. And I'm like, but they never do that for a heterosexual Black man in these shows. I noticed that. And I don't know what color the writers are for this Beyond the Gates, but if they happen to be Black, that's why they're there, because they too are still pushing a narrative that's destructive to our community. And that's my topic for today. Sorry for my voice cracking. I do have a cold, and I'll talk to you later. Tell me what you think. Bye.